The Toronto Maple Leafs could use some upgrades, and with some early season struggles, some teams could be looking to sell. Could the Toronto Maple Leafs potentially find a trade partner sooner rather than later?
Kawhi up top, looks at the clock, turns the corner for the win! A piece to the drive, deep left field, no doubt about it! Over center, here's Marner, and Matthews, scores!
Welcome to Everyday Toronto, a brand new source for your Leafs, Raptors, and Jays news found all in one place. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more videos like this, breaking down news, rumors, and potential trade ideas for your favorite Toronto teams. Let's get right into today's video. The San Jose Sharks have been off to a pretty terrible start to begin the 2023-24 season, as they currently have a record of 0-8-1 as I'm recording the video. They played pretty poorly last year, and then adding that they lost Erik Karlsson, I don't think their play would shock most people. Their schedule has been pretty difficult to start the year and is becoming very clear that they are ways away from competing. That being said, I think they have a few interesting defensemen that I think would bolster the Leafs blue line. The first person I want to look at is Mario Ferraro. Mario Ferraro is a 25-year-old left-hand defenseman at an AAV of $3.25 million through the years of 2025 to 26. He's an extremely gifted defensive defenseman that brings lots of passion, heart, and toughness to a very weak Sharks team. Last year in 72 games, Ferraro tallied 4 goals and 7 assists for a total of 11 points, which isn't the greatest, but this wouldn't be why the Leafs would bring a player like him in. In those 72 games last year, Mario Ferraro had 145 blocks with 129 hits, and so far this year in 9 games, he's had 23 blocks with 15 hits. The Leafs don't have an aggressor like this on the blue line, and Mario Ferraro would be a huge help. The other player I think the Leafs should be interested in is Matthew Benning. Matthew Benning is a pretty steady defensive presence who can play a shutdown role in the Leafs. In the 2022-23 season, Benning had his best offensive year yet with 1 goal and 23 assists for 24 points on the year, while also having 125 blocks and 102 hits. Matt would bring a reliable right-hand depth defenseman, which is much needed for a Toronto team, while also being on a steal of $1.25 million annually until the 2026 season. Adding these two players to the Leafs roster would provide the Leafs with a very solid second-line left D and a very solid third-line right D. The trade that could possibly get the deal done would include TJ Brodie, John Klingberg, and a plethora of picks. I think it would be worth a try in a total steal if the Leafs could land Mario Ferraro and Matthew Benning. Similar to the San Jose Sharks, the Calgary Flames have also been off to a very rough start. But unlike San Jose, the Flames start is a little more surprising just based off the talent they have on their roster. A couple months ago, it sounded like Calgary was making some progress with upcoming free agent forward Elias Lindholm and defenseman Noah Hanifin. But after this rocky start, an article came out the other day from Eric Francois stating that contract talks are now on hold. So what does this mean for the Leafs? Brad Treliving, former GM of the Flames and current GM of the Leafs, has had a lot of time watching and building the Flames decor, and I think a guy he would love to add to Toronto's blue line would be Chris Tanev. Chris Tanev would slide right onto the first line with Morgan Rielly, replacing TJ Brodie again. He is also a right-shot defenseman playing the right side, which they don't get with Brodie, and his contract is $500K cheaper for this year, saving the Leafs some cap space. The other person I would love to see come over would be Dillon Dube. Dillon Dube is on an expiring contract worth $2.3 million. Dube would be the perfect third-line center to pair with Knies and Domi, or you could even put him on the right side and put Domi up the middle with Knies on the left. Dube brings that third-line skill that would really make Knies and Domi more effective, and as much as I like Camp, he belongs in the fourth line. When he's been in the line with Knies and Domi this year, he's been a pillar in the middle of their offensive attack. Dube last season put up a career-high 45 points with 18 goals and 27 assists. That would bring the bottom six some scoring that Toronto hasn't really been able to produce this year. Calgary is looking for a reset, and what they have hasn't been working. So in this mock-up, I've sent Nick Robertson, Connor Timmins, and a 2024 5th, 2024 7th, and a 2025 5th to the Flames for Tanev 50% retained and Dillon Dube. The last trade that I want to see Toronto make this year that would really put them over the top is a trade for Juuse Saros. There isn't much that has to be said about Saros. He is a Vezina caliber goaltender that would really make this team near unstoppable. Saros is on a Preds team that I believe won't be in contention in the coming years, and he only has 2 years left on his deal. Maybe it's time for the Preds to clear some minutes for goalie prospect Askarov to really develop. In order to make this trade somewhat possible, the Leafs would have to send over a package that looks something like Ilya Samsonov, Topi Niemela, Pontus Holmberg, and Toronto's 2024 first-round pick for Saros 25% retained. After all those trades, here's what Toronto's roster would potentially look like. Although the Leafs would be giving up a ton of assets and picks, these 3 trades would definitely put them over the top and as Stanley Cup favorites. Let me know down below what you think. Should the Leafs make these trades, or what trades would you like to see the Leafs make? That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and go Leafs go.